Ever since I started talking about me having inappropriate experiences with female sleep paralysis demons, I suddenly find more people coming to me asking how to have sleep paralysis instead of the usual how not to have sleep paralysis. So I thought I would impart all my sleep paralysis knowledge onto you and tell you how to get it and how to control the hallucinations and also how to get out of it when you get sleep paralysis in case you do everything I tell you and have paralysis tonight and realize you just weren't built for that shit. It happens. We're not all made for this life, you know. But in saying that, I actually wouldn't even recommend trying to induce sleep paralysis. I am not recommending you do it. This is strictly educational purposes only. I just thought I should say that because like, you're not even meant to experience fucking sleep paralysis, right? But I guess some people want to because of like the hallucinations or they're interested in the experience. So in saying that, the easiest way to attain sleep paralysis that I've experienced in my journey for lucid dreams, right? I wasn't even trying to get sleep paralysis. I was just trying to lucid dream and found this out, is that if you wake up and are able to stay completely still, like when you wake up in the morning, stay still, don't roll over, don't open your eyes, there's a very good chance you will experience sleep paralysis. And of course, like easier said than done, right? But you may end up being able to do it the first like morning or night you try it. But why staying completely still will give you sleep paralysis or very much increase your chances of it is because your body's already paralyzed anytime you dream, right? Your body's paralyzed to make sure you don't act out any of your dreams. So when you wake up in the morning, for example, whether you remember it or not, you just woke up from a dream. So if you are able to stay completely still, one of two things will happen. Either your body thinks it's still paralyzed because it's not, or it's still meant to be paralyzed because it hasn't received a signal to like move and wake itself up. But of course, your mind will still be awake. So your body will remain in paralysis if you stay still, and you will experience a sleep paralysis episode. The second thing that could happen is that you are not paralyzed, but since you haven't moved at all, your body will think it should still be sleeping and you're still asleep. So you will quickly enter into a sleep paralysis episode. I've had both of these two things happen to me when doing this method. You won't always get sleep paralysis 100% of the time doing this. You may experience hypnagogic hallucinations, which are like hallucinations you have when you wake up. You won't always be paralyzed, but you still could experience that. But there is a very good chance you will experience a sleep paralysis episode if you are able to do this. Now, I'll say another way to do it as you're falling asleep in a second, but I will talk about like controlling the hallucinations. And I will say they're not always gonna be like a monster or like something sitting on your chest or trying to fucking, I don't know, suffocate you. Especially if you do this method and keep your eyes closed. In sleep paralysis, you can have like a whole range of hallucinations. I've had people talking to me. I've had a woman walking up to me in my bed and start fucking touching me. I talked to someone on Instagram who got fucking molested by their sleep paralysis demon, bro. I'm not even joking. Like, it was really bad. I'm not saying that will happen to you, and I'll talk about that in a second. But all I'm saying is they can range from like very different things. It's not always going to be the same. I've also been dragged a lot. I know that's a thing people talk about and which I've had. One time I got dragged for like 2 fucking minutes straight. It was really strange. But about controlling the hallucinations, especially if your eyes are open, all it is really is like using your imagination and using your visualization. And you don't need to be good at imagining things in front of you to do this. I'm actually not good at visualizing shit, but even when I've had sleep paralysis episodes, I can't move and there's like a demon in front of me, I'm able to control what they do basically by imagining them doing shit I want them to do. I actually did this the other morning where I saw that Hat Man. You know that Hat Man, like that scary motherfucker that people see in nightmares and like when they take a bunch of drugs, the guy with the hat that's like a shadow person. I saw him the other morning, I'm not gonna say what I imagined him doing because I feel like the sexual sleep paralysis stories are getting a bit excessive, okay? They're getting a bit excessive, so I'm not gonna go into that. All I'm saying is by using your imagination, you will be able to control the hallucinations to a degree, and your expectation plays a very, very big role in what you will hallucinate. And fun fact about this, they did a study comparing sleep paralysis episodes of people from Egypt to people in Denmark. And they saw, because in Egypt, a lot of Egyptians believe sleep paralysis, this relates to expectations, I promise. A lot of people in Egypt think that sleep paralysis is caused by demons or supernatural creatures and like evil spirits and all that. And people in Denmark mostly just believe it's like some psychological thing that just like happens when you wake up when you're not meant to or whatever. And they found that the people in Egypt who believed it was caused by like supernatural creatures had more sleep paralysis, had longer sleep paralysis, and their sleep paralysis episodes were always more distressing than like the people who just believed it was some psychological thing. So that goes to show your expectations will not only affect the hallucinations, they can affect how long it goes on for and just like fucking how distressed you are and how often you have it. Now, the second way you could induce sleep paralysis is by doing it as you fall asleep, although this is more difficult because to get sleep paralysis as you sleep, you will need to wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep. That's because 4 to 6 hours after sleep is when you're in your longest REM stages of sleep and you're only paralyzed during REM stages, right? So this is more difficult. To wake up 4 to 6 hours after sleep, you can of course use an alarm or use your natural intention by just telling yourself to wake up at a certain time. And then once you do that, you need to also be extremely tired, like able to fall asleep very quickly. That will make it much easier. And once you have woken up 4 to 6 hours after sleep, lay down on your back, preferably. That's another thing. I think more people experience sleep paralysis laying on their back than any other position combined. I actually thought that was kind of like bullshit, but I searched it up and the studies showing that, yeah, if you lay on your back, you're way, way more prone to sleep paralysis. So lay on your back, and what you need to do is make your body fall asleep, as I said earlier, but keep your mind awake. So this will be kind of difficult, but if you can push through like moving, like do not move, stay on your back, do not fucking move. And if you do this and are in a perfect kind of state of being so tired that you can fall asleep quickly, there's once again a very good chance you will experience sleep paralysis because you're so tired, you want to fall asleep and your body will quickly fall asleep. But since you're kind of on your back and trying to maintain awareness, your mind will stay awake and you should experience a sleep paralysis episode for a little while. So those are the two methods to have sleep paralysis. I would recommend the first, which is just staying still when you wake up, because it's really easy. You don't really need to do much more. You literally just try and focus on staying still and you will experience sleep paralysis probably if you keep at it. About getting out of sleep paralysis, of course, when you have it unintentionally, you're already going to be freaking out and trying to fucking move, and you won't be able to move because you're paralyzed. And normally though, like clenching your fingers and shit will wake you up. But a quicker way to wake up from sleep paralysis that I found, which someone actually told me like years ago, I don't remember who it was, but they said it worked for them. And I've had quite a few sleep paralysis episodes, so I just tried it out and it's always worked, is holding my breath. And I searched this up and saw a lot of other people also said this worked for them. My theory, of course, this will not necessarily work for everyone. Just for me, holding my breath completely wakes me up like instantly from sleep paralysis. I think it may be because it kind of jolts your body awake, because your body's like, what the fuck, I can't breathe. So it like quickly wakes itself up, because obviously if you can't breathe while you're asleep, you're probably going to quickly like wake up. So the same thing happens in sleep paralysis, although it may also be my expectations, because I think like a really experienced person told me that method. of course, like I said earlier, your expectations play a very large part, because when I searched up the holding your breath thing, I did also see people who said it didn't work, but I saw most people were saying that worked for them. Someone else also suggested making like funny fucking faces. I'm not gonna do that too much because I look like a retard, but making funny faces, basically anything to signal to your body that it should be awake. Because your body, you're just in sleep paralysis because your body's kind of confused, right? It's kind of retarded. It thinks it should be like, it thinks it should be asleep. So you just need a signal to it. It should be awake right now if you want to get out of sleep paralysis. And the good thing about sleep paralysis is if you ever get it and just let it happen and push through the hallucinations, there's a very good chance you will enter into a lucid dream. So that's all I have to say. Once again, I would not even recommend inducing it a lot, because if you commonly have sleep paralysis and experience it, you will literally be diagnosed probably with some fucking sleep disorder, because you're not even meant to have it. And the most common way people have sleep paralysis is literally from fucking up their sleep schedule. I think students have sleep paralysis much more than like anyone else because they have shitty sleep. So that just goes to show it's kind of unnatural and you're not meant to experience it. But people will do what they want, I guess. People will do what they want. Goodbye. Like the video, leave me a comment, I'll try and reply to it. Don't join the Discord. Do never, ever, ever join the Discord. Goodbye, I love you, farewell.